have to open up your heart and give it to them and say, look, that's what I want to do. I believe that we can do this. I just found the meeting going nowhere because I was like, I had all those big ideas, but I was like, I can't really voice them. And I'm going to close with this, and it kind of gets me a little bit emotional. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is George Marius. I'm an anthemic alt rock artist from a small Greek city, but I've been living in England now for, well, kind of half my life. And the reason why I wanted to make today's video is because I've just released a brand new single that came with a pretty kick-ass cinematic video. It's called Crash Burn. Let's take a little sneak peek. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the journey of putting together such a video as an artist that really does music and has really not got any experience as a director or an editor or a film producer or anything like that. I feel that if you're an independent artist like myself without a huge budget, and you're also kind of intrigued by this kind of world and this realm, you might find it interesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the experience, some lessons I learned along the way. I want to give all the members of the team their flowers and share some behind the scenes. And yeah, let's start. So I want to start by a really, really important lesson, which is the following. Do not let your perceived limitations, be it budget limitations or experience limitations, stifle your imagination and the process of brainstorming to find ideas. And I will relay that a little bit and how that manifested in real life for me, because I kind of did that in the beginning of trying to really find a concept and an idea for this music video, which was the most ambitious one as well as all the other ones that I've put out already. And so basically I met with my really good friend Jan Solberg, who's an incredible DOP. We worked together on Crash Burn and the other two videos. We met for a coffee, I think, in Greenwich in London. And yeah, I just found the meeting going nowhere because I was like, I had all those big ideas, but I was like, I can't really voice them or I can't really entertain them because I ain't got a clue about directing like a project like that. I don't know how to produce. I don't have all this money, that might be required. And that really negated this whole process. And the incredible thing about Jan, and I'm going to give him his flowers now. Jan is an incredibly talented DOP. He's got a great sensibilities for cinematic aesthetic. And his superpower is, his ability to look you in the eye, especially if he's someone that he knows, and he knows me. He knows what I wanted, and says, George, let's just what you want to do. We can make it happen. Let's do it. And you need people like that. People like that are very important because they will make you, they'll sort of help ignite that flame of being more daring and going out of your comfort zone. So we did a follow-up meeting and things were much clearer. So for me, and to share a little bit of a personal experience, I used to be quite a big boy, and I used to get bullied quite a bit. So for me, what I wanted to do with Crash Burn was I wanted to do like a Cobra Kai Karate Kid, old school Karate Kid like style kind of film, but with a more sort of cinematic, artistic like aesthetic. No offense, I love Karate Kid, but just more of a modern sort of cinematic aesthetic. I wanted it to look like a movie. I wanted it to look like something you would watch in the cinema. So as soon as this sort of mist went away of like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I don't have all this money, blah, blah, blah. The idea was crystal clear. And that takes us to, I guess tip or point number 2. The second point that's really, really important is that you have to start with a really, really engaging and powerful idea, and an idea that you can very clearly lay out to someone that you want to get on board. You'll be surprised how eager people that work on bigger things will be to work with you if you present them with a great idea and you do it with all your heart. You have to open up your heart and give it to them and say, look, that's what I want to do. I believe that we can do this. Come join the Avengers. Let's make it happen. So this is very important. So if you want to do this, you want to be able to say, okay, I want to do this. That's the idea. That's how I see it. It's go time. Let's go. The third point is that it's much better to meet people in person. So when you make a music video, especially when you don't have a big team that will do things for you, you got to go find locations. You got to go find and recruit people, actors, crew, all that. Meet them in person. If you have the idea and you have the desire and the belief, that can be quite contagious. And it's much more likely that people might meet you halfway, or maybe, especially again, if you don't have a huge budget, which I didn't, I mean, that video looks amazing. If I say so myself, it's very well made. It did cost me money, but if I had a production company do it, it would have costed 10 times the money. So go and meet people in person. People receive a lot of emails, a lot of texts. That just doesn't work. If you like a location, if you've seen someone act and you're like, you know what, I want to get them on board. I'm not sure if they're going to do it. Meet them for a coffee. Go and meet them. There's no substitute for that. You got to have the guts and give them your idea. Show them your heart. And for now, the final point is, especially if you're an artist who's never done this before, you got to do some homework. There is a couple of very important points and steps that you're going to have to take aside from developing a concept in order to make the filming process smooth, and especially if you don't have a lot of time to shoot. I mean, we had a 2-day shoot for this video, which was amazing because the other ones, it was one, and it was very stressful. So we had a dojo shoot and then the band shoot. There's some things you're going to have to learn, because you're going to need to, if you're going to spearhead this operation, you're going to have to be very able to communicate with the people that you're working with. So I'm going to relate with my process. I had to, and with the help of Jan, of course, we had to talk a little bit about, the looks. So there's a lot of platforms. I think we used ShotDeck. I'm not sponsored by them, but this is one you can use where you can find stills and do the work. You need to do the work to explain to your DOP, to the director of photography, how you want the video to look like. And to be fair, me and Jan, we're quite connected that way. So we both had this sort of, there's a very heavy bluish hue in the video and quite a lot of haze. And so you got to learn about this process. If you're a director, you got to learn, if you want to direct it, you got to learn about the names of the shots, mid shot, wide shot. If you want slow-mos, you got to do your homework. There's a lot of slow-mos and crash burn, and where I wanted things to fall in a certain way, and you got to plan those things. And of course, you got to do a shot list. Those are really important things that you got to do. If you don't know what those things mean and you're about to embark on this process, please go and take a look. Those are really important things because it's going to make everything moving forward much more direct and much easier for you to. My brain's stuck. It's going to make the whole process of making the video, especially if you're doing it on a budget and you don't have a lot of time, it's going to make it the process a lot easier. So let's talk a little bit about crash burn, about the process and the journey. So again, the first sort of stage was really developing the story, and it is quite a clear-cut story. There's the good guy, the underdog, and the bad guy. As I said, we used to get bullied a lot, so I wanted to do something like not a revenge story, an overcoming story. I did a music video for my song "Somewhere to Be," which was released 6-7 months ago, I guess. That's way more metaphorical. Run wild and reveal. This I wanted to be very clear cut. So I took time to develop the story, and then me and Jan met to just develop the look, like I said before, make sure we had some good references, strong references. And then it was the case of going out, meeting people that had appropriate locations, and trying to, find the right places. And I was kind of lucky because there was this kind of rundown dojo, which I think actually Gibson, who's our lead, showed me on Instagram. That place looks kind of cool because I didn't want to be in a posh dojo or something. I wanted to be like a rundown place. So we got that location, and then a great acting studio who they were really helpful. So I'm going to put links to that in the video description if you want to shoot there or something. They're all really nice. And of course, then you have the process of getting the crew and of course the cast. I'm going to give you everyone's names and stuff in the end of the video, and I'm going to leave their links to the description in case you want to work with them. And then it was the process of finding the lead, the two leads. The main lead is is our let's say the little guy, the good guy, and we had the antagonist. So I want to take a moment to talk about our protagonist, Gibson. First of all, Gibson, you were named after one of the biggest guitar companies. That's badass. So I met Gibson through a student of mine. Gibson used to teach him kickboxing at a local dojo. So, he came to me as a stuntman, right? And of course, on my list of priorities, I wanted someone who could do pull all those crazy moves and fall and do fight scenes. But I also wanted someone who could act. Do consider, of course, stunt work is acting, but I meant acting in the sense like, close-ups. You're showing pain, you're showing emotions, you're showing vulnerability in a like direct and personal way. And oh boy, where we floored! Like, he killed it. It was amazing. I mean, Gibson. I told him, like, dude, you should put actor next to that. I mean, he was amazing. We made a point of having a lot of intense rehearsals because I wanted to run him through the sequences, of course, so that when we approached on the shooting, I didn't want it to be a shock. I didn't want it to be like, okay, now you gotta like act like you got PTSD and cry. And his work ethic is insane. I mean, he was so receptive, and we had such a good chemistry working together. And he just did amazing. Here is some behind the scenes footage of some of the rehearsals.
We're gonna put some temporary lights there to make it like really atmospheric, and we just want to sort of almost see the figure of someone who's like defeated basically, and you're like so the beating. That's why I want to get some extra footage of Ray doing some ground and pounding or something.
Okay, yeah.
Because then you kind of like grabbing your head, having like a headache or something. Camera's probably too loud for this to catch, but it doesn't matter. But like, so it's gonna be that, but then you're getting back into it. I just felt it made sense to have some flashbacks because they add the intensity, and so you're almost experiencing PTSD a little bit.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I can do it like that, like kicks, and I can just soften my kicks, so I feel like I'm overthinking the things. But it's better to.
I mean, you don't want to sort of appear that you've entered the gym defeated. It's more about like it's more like if when the move doesn't work, you're annoyed, So not that, because if you did sort of this and this sort of in the air and then you just stop, that shows more like there is a battle in your head, but I think it's going to be shown more clearly if it's more like, you track actually, you're really keen to do the move, but then you're falling down. And that's the point where you're like, oh, fuck, like getting out. In terms of the combination, it's just a case of, imagine you get someone who's new, or not so, hasn't been doing it for so long, so the combinations are all like more primitive, let's say, more beginner, and then they just keep getting better and better. So if you do combos, we can, of course, get a few takes of you because that might work well in the cut afterwards, just so you go or something. But that I would like more for when it's like when you're falling down and you've got that sort of, and then I cut, so you're getting beaten up to then punch the man, but not because of fear, because you're determined to get back up again. The last chorus and the solo is going to be intercut between myself. Okay, solo is going to be obviously quite heavily guitar. Bass, but also it's going to be the fight. The way, so basically what I need in the final battle is two stages. Like one where, Raid is like the aggressor and you sort of more dodging, and then you're doing some hits, but he's not really that effective because he's strong. And then I like for that to bridge to have the kip up and maybe doing the Anderson Silva thing, or Morpheus, depending whoever, if you see Maker.
So
there's
on the kip up bit, so you want him to pretty much hit me, I fell over.
So imagine just like a side kick, whatever, you sort of fall over and he's like...
hold on, he's hitting me.
Yes. Yeah.
Big guys, it's better for them front kick, and plus backs. It looks really good on camera.
Yeah, so if I'm Ray.
Yeah, I just fall over, bang, and then
And of course, you can't have a battle between good and evil and not have the evil guy. I mean, Raid is an amazing guy, but he had to play the baddie in this one. And I met Raid through Gibson. They're friends training together, and they're both now doing amazing work with stunts. I mean, he's killing it. So he came as well, and again, he joined us in rehearsals, and he was great to work with as well. And they have, they train together, so there's good chemistry there already. So as far as the fight choreography went, Obviously, I've never directed before, and I've never directed fight choreography. But what I did at the time was to make sure. I mean, I got a lot of sequences from fights that I wanted, and it was the case of trying to see how the moves would go together. I used quite a lot of John Wick, which not actually a lot of it made it in Crash Burn, but I do love the fact that in John Wick there's a lot of like grappling kind of action, which I really like. But so we did a little bit of that, but mostly we were resorted to like a lot of kicks and big movements. It's fighting for cinema. It's different than fighting in real life, and it was great also to have Gibson and Raid also work together in that, because again, I've got very limited sort of martial arts experience, so it was great to meet together again before the shoot and go through different motions and really try to really paint this picture of that final battle, because we were also very aware, and I was very aware, that we're going to have probably about an hour to shoot this. Now, the shoot is split between the storyline, so there's that sort of saga going on, and there's the band. So actually, on the recording, I played bass, guitar, string arrangements, and Darby Todd, who's an incredible drummer from I think he's half American, half English. Sorry if I got it wrong, Darby. He's an amazing drummer. He's played with Devin Townsend, a lot of amazing things. So he played on the record, but what I wanted to have for the sort of the musician sort of part of the shoot is I don't want to just have me with like a guitar strumming. So I was very fortunate to be joined by my guys that have been on my live band. Mr. Nuno Oliveira on the drums, Dio Perez, the Spanish stud, on the bass, and Robin Pearson, the Scottish stallion, on the second guitar. So it was really great to actually get together with them. And much like the fight choreography and stuff, I actually tracked a lot of the key movements that I wanted for the shoot beforehand. So, pardon me, we got together in a rehearsal space, and we did a demo tape of the song, because I wanted some key movements. There's some sort of synchronized slow-mos and some drops, and those are things that you need to clear beforehand. You don't want to like, you don't want to have to do this on the day. So that was actually a really important part of the process. So again, if you're going to direct your band and yourself as well as them, you gotta have a demo of the moves, and also a lot of the things that you might think will look good might not look good. The other thing, of course, was the solo. I wanted to have for the solo, I wanted to have like my Rise moment. Rise is a single by one of my favorite bands, Extreme, and there's this iconic solo in it, an amazing solo. And I just wanted to have like the solo alongside the fight choreography be like captured like in a really kind of epic way. So there were some slow-mos that I wanted and stuff. So all those things you gotta know about before you go into the shoot. Also, it helps like working with Jan, because like he gets me and he knows me. Like he is also very creative. It's great because you're going to get some great ideas, but you ought to be very clear with your crew and everybody about what it is that you want, because it's like, it'll make everything a lot smoother. In shooting days, you can have everything planned to a T and things will go wrong for sure. Of course, when you work with experienced people like Jan, he deals with it with a lot of calm. I, on the other hand, not so much. But I'm learning. It was like, it's only my second rodeo at the time or something. So anyway, so things like we didn't have a tall enough ladder to like put some lights on the ceiling on the dojo. So I was running like there was a car wash or something, trying to get a huge ladder to bring it back. Then the ladder was too tall, taking it back, time's passing. It's raining outside. You want to shoot outside, but then it's raining and the lighting is not right. All those things. What you got to make sure that you do is you got to be composed. You got to be very well prepared, and you just got to stay on the ball. And that's it. If you got a team together that you trust, and you're all gonna pull through. Having said that, again, like because we did the rehearsals as well with Gibson and Raid for the final sort of, for the fight scenes and the final big battle, everything was a lot smoother, which is why it's very important to prepare. I mean, same for the band shoot. The band shoot was actually quite enjoyable because we just had to do the band. So it was actually, I think, the only shoot out of the ones that I did, even for the other songs, that we just kind of wrapped on time. And it was really nice. And again, preparation kind of helps. The other thing is, which is very important, and I'm Greek, so that's very heavily ingrained in our culture. Make sure you feed your crew well. Very important. You want to keep people nourished. You want to make sure you have an abundance of snacks, comfort food, nice food. Because those people, you're going to be working on a shoot for like 12, 13 hours straight. You gotta keep the team fueled, so that is very, very important. And I want to take a moment to shout out everybody that got involved, because I really couldn't have done this without this team. Okay, so obviously my man Jan Solberg, DOP. I had my other man, Mr. Sir William Watson, who was the gaffer. We had Pete Swinford on the band shoot, who was the AC. We were also worked with Pete on the other 2 videos that I did for Your Heart and Somewhere to Be. Andrew Pinto, who was the AC for the Dojo shoot, who also did an amazing job. Lila Simmons, who did makeup. Lily, she did a great job. I think her partner is an MMA fighter, still is, as far as I know. So she is great sort of idea of like how someone who's battered looks like. We had Grace Parry, who is an amazing actress, who was there to help on the day and ran around on all fronts. My man Billy Crabb, who mixed the record, who was there and doing sound for the band shoot, which is very important. You got to have someone to have sound. You can't be running on laptops pressing play and yada yada yada. Please tell me I'm not forgetting anybody as far as the crew goes. I think that's kind of it. And the cast, of course, Gibson Aritze, who just did an amazing job. I mean, honestly, like, not only an amazing athlete, amazing human being, but also an amazing actor. Like, the acting was, we were all like so moved. And Raid Madwe as well, who he's killing it now, and he really brought that sort of evil energy. He's the sweetest guy, but like, he brought the evil vibes, and it was amazing. And the fellas, my boys, Nuno Oliveira, who played on the drums. And again, it's very hard to play those songs convincingly over a track. Like, those guys really played the parts, Dio Perez on the bass and Robin Pearson on the guitar. And amazing. One of the things that I like, I spent a lot of time working by myself, writing, producing, editing, doing videos at my little setup. And I just love the fact that doing a music video is just such a big collaborative process. So, that was, thank you guys. So, big thank you. Like, honestly, I would not have done it without any of you. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm going to close with this, and it kind of gets me a little bit emotional because, things can get really hard in life as it is. But when you pursue your craft and your dream, there's a lot of challenges. And I feel that sometimes, we tend to either overthink, or we build obstacles in our head that we deem them to be insurmountable. We build those big mountains when they shouldn't be there. And sometimes that prevents us from like fulfilling our potential and going out of our comfort zone and doing like really beautiful things and going on a beautiful journey. And for me, I was really scared to do this in the beginning, but I'm so happy I went on this journey with this beautiful team. And I just urge you to do the same. There's really nothing you're gonna lose in this, and hopefully at the end you're gonna come up with something beautiful that you can call your own, your work. So that's it. If you haven't checked the video, check it out. I think you're gonna dig it. Have 2 more music videos from the previous 2 singles, which is Your Heart and Somewhere to Be, and all those really were kind of developed around the same period. So all of them I was kind of a little bit like, okay, let's see how this goes. But again, beautiful journey. I recommend it if you're an artist and you want to do your own music videos. Go and do them. Music videos is music videos are an amazing art form, and I really hope it doesn't get lost. And I'm gonna leave you at that. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching. And subscribe, and like, and share, and all that. Cheers.